What's up, guys? We're back. It is Sunday, May 3rd, 2026. It's been a while. I know it's been a while. Been busy. So I want to show you guys the fruit set that we got for this year. I also want to show you guys some of the progress that we got for all of our different varieties that we got. I'm starting back here because I usually don't start back here. And my plan is to try to walk you through a lot of the trees, a lot of the fruit set so you can see, and that way you can compare my fruit set to your fruit set and see where you are. By the way, I am in Southern California, technically zone 9B, and it's gonna get hot. I know that, but we really had a warm winter, so that's part of the problem for this year for some of the fruit set that we have, but it's okay. But we also have a pretty good fruit set for a lot of different varieties that I've seen so far, so let's get into it. Okay, so back here, I usually don't show this tree much because I usually don't get back here very often, but this is a Hass avocado tree that I got from Brokaw Nurseries, and it's on Dusa rootstock. So I've gotten fruit from it for the last couple years. We got fruit again right now, but we also have, from what I've seen, some flowers. I'm just looking around. I do see some flowers here and there still, which is crazy. I'm gonna try to estimate how much fruit. There might be 50 to 100 on there, but this tree does get a little neglected. As you can see, there's a branch that's like burnt. It does get neglected back here. A couple times my water shut off all the way to the back. Something got into my irrigation line and it prevented the sprayer. So I cleaned it out, and then all of a sudden the sprayer started working again, and then this tree made a beautiful comeback. But yeah, it's part of the whole process. You gotta like come out here and check it, probably more than you should, but it's doing okay. So right there is the Hass. So pronounced with the H in front of, kind of like a donkey, and or actually green grass. Put an H in front of it. So this is a Carmen Hass, and this Carmen skipped fruiting last year, but it fruited this year. I see fruit, not like a lot of fruit, but you can see there's fruit right there. That's the size. Put my hand behind it so you can see. Maybe 20. Not a lot, but I also think that part of it is because this one's on Duke 7, so it's growing fast, but it doesn't have as much fruit for now. But I think once it gets really big and more mature, it's probably going to set a lot of fruit. So that's going to be crazy. We'll see how that goes. Well, I'll continue to monitor this and give you guys feedback on Carmen with the Duke 7 rootstock here. So right here is a reed. I still got, there's fruit in there. Oh yeah, there might be a couple more, but I had fruit, and unfortunately the fruit was so heavy it broke a branch. So here's the broken branch, and it's got more flowers again. It's fruiting again. So it's been growing kind of weird because people have been saying, hey, reed are supposed to kind of grow straight up. I really haven't noticed it for me, and maybe because I'm a little greedy, because I should be picking a lot of the fruit off so it doesn't weigh heavily on the branches. But I am a little greedy, I guess I can say that, because once I get fruit, I'm so excited. I just try to keep as much on as possible. But it's still alive, still doing okay. Yeah, so this is doing okay. I mean, so this one's actually on Dusa, and then I have another reed that's on Toro Canyon. So, and I'm planning on getting a reed for myself on Duke 7 to get a third tree. Don't know why, but I'm still trying to find maybe the right root system to grow in my backyard for reed, just to see if I can get one that grows more upright, and maybe the Duke 7, considering that Carmen is growing really upright, is the way to go. So a little bit of an experiment that I'm doing for you guys for free. Just subscribe and like, that's all it takes, for free. Back here we got a Nabal. So this Nabal is on Toro Canyon, and I see fruit set. Let me show you guys that. So this is the first year we got fruit. I see a couple little BBs on there, but this fruited a little later compared to other varieties, which is kind of normal for Nabal and for reed. You can see the reed's flowering right now. We're in May and it's flowering. And on my other reed, it already flowered earlier and it already set some fruit earlier. So just interesting to see. But Nabal's doing nice. It's growing nicely. And this is more upright, which is kind of nice also. I do feel that these guys are at a disadvantage because they are in a spot where I have big old eucalyptus like overhanging the tree. So plant allopathy is something that is I think is going on here, and you guys can look it up, but I am aware of it. I know that we got an issue, but the cost to remove some of these trees are pretty crazy, because I already removed a bunch a couple years back, and they grow so fast actually. So I don't know, we'll see. This hobby's costing me more than I ever really. That's okay. That's what hobbies are for, right? So Edranol, and this Edranol is on Dusa from Brokaw, and every year I've gotten this thing to flower. It flowered heavily last year, set fruit, and then dropped all of it. It flowered again this year, set some fruit that I'm seeing right now. Let me show you what it looks like. There's fruit in there. I know, I can see a bunch. There's probably 50. That's my guesstimate. But I really don't know if it's gonna hold. So nothing, the fruit tastes really good. That's why I'm like, I'm not planning on cutting this down or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I'm sharing this variety with a lot of people because, you know, they may have more luck with this than me. And it's not because the variety is like that. I think it's just because of my situation with the eucalyptus. So, and then back there we got, this is a Jim Bacon, and the Jim is growing, but it's the same thing. It's next to a big old eucalyptus, so it's got fruit. Check it out. There's fruit in there. Oh, this one looks dry. I'm gonna pick this one off. Oh no, it's kind of hanging on. Sometimes you just wiggle it and it just pop right off. I've gotten fruit pretty much every year, so not my favorite fruit. I think these probably do better in a little colder climate, but I did graft some other stuff on here. I won't talk about this variety yet, but let's see when I actually get fruit from this, and then we'll start talking about it. So, and then right here is a gem, G-E-M, gem. It's got fruit, still small. This is on probably Zutano seed, and you know, this was a Laverne slash E Verde now, because the E Verde bought Laverne out, but when I got this, it was through Laverne. And honestly, I haven't had much luck with Laverne trees, but you know, once in a while you get one or two that does well, but for the most part they're all kind of like this. So, and then another gem also from Laverne, E Verde, and leaves are kind of yellowish, but I see some fruit on there. So I mean, this gem has some fruit, so not a bad thing, right? So I'll have to walk back that way so you can see, but I have this Friday I wanted to show you. This is the koala, and I had a Maluma. The Maluma died, didn't make it. I took the shade off, but I never put it back on, and it's just struggling. But I'm gonna let it go. If it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, oh well. I got a variety I want to put right here anyways, so we'll see how that goes. And then back there is lamb has. Lamb, there's fruit on there. It's got new fruit coming in. See that? But what's cool is that this thing, considering it's in a little nook of eucalyptus, still doing okay. So it is possible, I guess, but it hasn't really grown like a lot, but it's still surviving and still producing fruit. So that's a good thing. Okay, in this section, I have a queen. So doing good. This is on Dusa. It's a really nice looking queen from Brokaw. So let's see. Hopefully this one kind of goes. And then this right here is an Anaheim that I've had in the ground for a long time, and it hasn't really gone. Other people who have it says that theirs is doing great, and I think the fact that it's a Laverne tree probably part of why it's not doing great. But I mean, I see fruit. There's one right here. I don't expect it to stick. There might be another fruit in there. So just a okay tree for now. Haven't got any fruit that I got a chance to try to kind of give you guys feedback on this variety. But you know, maybe this is the year some of this fruit that set actually stays on for the whole year. So we'll see. And maybe this pine tree has something to do with that, but who knows. So right here is a Hass. It used to be a reed. I bought it as a reed, ends up being a Hass. And then I find stuff like this all over the ground. That's a Hass fruit. I can already tell just looking at it. Some animal. But it's got, so this Hass has a decent fruit set on it. So we're gonna get a lot of Hass fruit. Oh, sorry, blur. So looking good for fruit. This one's a Hass also, and this one's set fruit, holding fruit, and I see a lot of fruit all over. Hopefully the new leaves really come in and start to shade. Like up there, if you can see some of the fruit's kind of hanging out on the limb. Hopefully new flowers come in, or I'm sorry, new leaves come in and protect some of it. But it's got this weird branch that came out, and then this branch has fruit. So I decided to leave it for sure. And then we got right here is a Zutano, and this Zutano set so much fruit this last year. I think what it decided to do was just skip a year for fruit, and I'm okay with that. Oh, actually no, I see one fruit. Take that back. So pretty reliable for fruit, even though it shouldn't set any. I mean, I had so much fruit that, and I let it really hold for a long time, because when you let Zutano fruit hold for a long time, the fruit definitely tastes a lot better as time goes on. I think a lot of people pick the fruit really early, and that's why people complain about Zutano fruit, saying it's not that good. But to me, it's actually really good. It's not as good as Hass, but I mean, good enough, right? So avocado fruit that you have in your hand is better than no fruit. So here, this is one of my Hass that I got as a 15-gallon, and I wanted to kind of supercharge my grove, so I bought a 15-gallon, but I probably could have gotten away with just a 5-gallon. It's got some fruit still that I can see, that I need to pick. We've been picking a lot of the fruit off this already and just enjoying them. But it's got new fruit coming in. Kind of hard to see, but they're all over the place size-wise. A decent fruit set. I would say probably kind of like on the higher end. I had one year it was super crazy, to the point where all the fruit were all small because it had so much fruit. But this year I think this is about right, the perfect fruit set, because it's got a good amount of fruit, and I think the fruit's gonna size up really nicely. So, and they're gonna be tasty, of course. So excited about Hass again, my go-to. It's, you know, I don't know why people kind of like see a Hass tree and they're like, no, I want to get something different. I'm like, guys, just get it. This is one of the best tasting fruit out there. As a matter of fact, it's like it's the gold standard that everybody tries to duplicate. And having multiple trees, for me, even though I didn't plan having multiple Hass down there, it's a win. I'm happy I got it. And then over here, my Maluma is doing pretty good. I know people have been asking about this tree, and some folks, their Maluma is doing much better, but the fact it's still growing and I hadn't really taken care of it much, so that's kind of my fault, but it is what it is. And then over here I got, this is my Jan Boyce, and there's fruit on the Jan Boyce. So we got, I'm trying to make it so it zooms in nicely so you can actually see. Jan Boyce grows kind of like upright for me, and I've been sharing scions of this, so a lot of the stuff was cut by me. And it's got fruit again, so that's a good thing. And then over here we got an Ettinger, and Ettinger has given me fruit pretty much every year, and it's got fruit again this year. That's the size of roughly the size of the fruit. It's actually, this is probably the most fruit that I've seen on this Ettinger that's holding to this stage. I mean, last year it had so much fruit, but not very much kind of hung on. But I'm also seeing on my Jan Boyce a branch that looks like it's struggling. Maybe I need to add a little more water. So, a couple things. I have a spinner. You can see it's kind of wet down there, which is good. But I think sometimes what happens is Jan Boyce will like abort branches. Like this branch right here. This branch, it was nice and green, but now it looks like it's gone. So I'm probably gonna pick off this end piece right here. And this branch right here is pretty much, looks like it's kind of toast. I don't know why it does that, but so this branch right here at the tip, at the end, you can see there's nice buds on there. So I'm gonna graft this onto something that I have. But once in a while you get that on a branch that it just, maybe something ate part of it. See if I could zoom in so you can see it. Not sure if you can see that, but in any case, I got a good piece of scion wood. And you know, I tried to take the leaves off because the leaves, if you leave the leaves on, it tries to suck the moisture out of the branch and it will dry it out. So you're better off getting the leaves off right away if you can. Pause. Okay, got the leaves off. That's what it looks like. Anyways, back to the tour. Put this in my pocket. This right here is a Kona Sharwil, just Sharwil for a lot of folks. But this is the first year that this Kona is producing fruit like crazy. So I think it just needed a couple years. And geez, there's a lot of fruit on here. I'm so excited because this fruit tastes really good. And just looking at the fruit set, it's gonna be pretty awesome. Let's see if I can zoom in. That's kind of high up there. but there's lots of fruit in there. So this Sharwil is on Duke 7 root system from Brokaw, and I dug up another Sharwil that was doing good. I just decided I'd rather put a Brokaw tree in instead, and this Brokaw tree definitely helped kind of. Well, I think just having it on clonal root system Duke 7 really just is probably part of the reason why this guy is as big as it is. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who said that my tree is probably one of the biggest Sharwils that he's seen in Southern California, which is crazy because this is, I don't know. And considering I only grew this just recently also. But yeah, it's cool. This is gonna be an awesome year for Sharwil. So we'll see how that goes. Down to this side we got my Fuerte. And Fuerte flowered and fruited. There's some fruit. I don't see a lot of fruit, but I see some fruit. So optimistic again this year. I had some fruit from last year, it was good. So holding on to the tree. Unfortunately, it just hasn't been doing as, like, fruit set wise, considering how big this tree is. It should have a lot of fruit, but it doesn't. So it might be just the fact that we're close to eucalyptus, but it might be just this variety and how it just behaves, I guess. Kahalu'u Sir Prize back there. Kahalu'u is doing good. I saw flowers. I don't see any fruit set. Let me see if I can see some fruit set. Really don't see much. Sir Prize. This is the first year Sir Prize skipped a year, and I was expecting it to skip a year last year, and it didn't. It fruited so much. So I think the fact that it fruited so much was part of the reason why it skipped this year. So people have said that these guys are alternating, and I was gonna say no, it doesn't alternate at all, but now I'm seeing it. So seeing it firsthand. But it went strong for 3 years, and then it's gonna alternate. But I mean, this last year it had so much fruit. That's probably why. So this is my Frankenstein tree. I got probably like 10 different varieties on here. I won't show you every variety, but I do want to show you a variety that it's crazy. So right here, here's the graft. This is called Big Black. You got one growth here, one growth there, and I do need to kind of check to make sure it's not choking it. Yeah, so Big Black, and this guy grew a nice gut, and then also it flowered. But check this out, it flowered and it fruited. This is a Big Black in Southern California. So I'll probably make this right here my thumbnail for you guys, because look how cool that looks. I mean, it shouldn't be setting fruit right now, but it kind of reminds me of this other variety that I have. So yeah, that's kind of crazy that it did that. I still see flowers all over the. So this is Mexicola Grande. There's still flowers on there, and different stages of flowers, which is crazy because I've already gotten flowers and fruit set earlier. Like this is a Mexicola Grande fruit, and I still see new flowers coming in. Like some of the flowers that came in really early produce fruit about this size already. So I also have a Santa Clara Gold graft on here, and that little guy produced fruit that, oh, I got a friend. See if I can zoom in. See, oh, did it go? No, it's still there. There's a friend on there. That's Santa Clara Gold right there. Fruit on my little graft, which is right here. So it's crazy that it's got fruit. Crazy and exciting. And what else do I have on here that might be interesting? Oh, De La Creme graft. Still green. Went and then stalled, but still green, so hopefully it goes. What else do I have? I got a Black Beauty that's on here. That's doing well. Oh, let me show you this. This is crazy, and this happened so fast. I came out here. This right here is Oaklando, which I grafted right there. So I think what happened was some squirrel came and grabbed the branch, and it like shook it, and then the tree decided to abort that branch. Unfortunately, that branch had Oaklando on there, and a little bummed because it went from super green to dried and dead in like 3 weeks. And it's been like this for a while, but I mean, I was like going crazy. I'm like, how does that happen? But it happens. So that's life. So, wow, this video is getting long. I better cut it off here, and then I'll do part 2 and then end it. That way you can see some other stuff. But I'm gonna cut off here. Stay hydrated, you guys. Gotta stay hydrated for sure. And let me go grab a beer. Hopefully you guys are doing the same on a Sunday.